I've had a little bit of interest on the Facebook group about installing SCSI in the SU700, so I thought I might make a quick little video just describing how I've done it. So I'll look at the SCSI to SD versus V5.2 first. So this is the utility that you use to configure it. So I just thought I'd show what settings I've used. So with the devices, making them a 512 sector size, 1 GB in size, and then just repeating that for each subsequent SCSI ID all the way to ID 6. Now I've set my SU700's internal SCSI ID to 7, because just for those who aren't as familiar with SCSI, you get 8 IDs in total from 0 to 7, but one of those needs to be taken up by your device. So with like the Akai MPC 2000 XL, I think it's 3 by default. I don't think you can change it though. With the Ansonics, it's 5. So with the SU though, you can select it, and it does say in the manual to put it as the last one in the chain. So if you're going to use from 0 through to 6, it should be 7. From there, all you need to do is install the device into your SU700 with an SD card in, format them, and off you go. It's pretty easy to set up. You just replace your existing floppy device with this one. Now with the BlueSCSIs, which is the one that I'm currently using in my SU700, I'll go to my S drive. So I've gone ahead and I've reminded myself here, there's a website that I found that took you through how to set up a new image file with a tool called DD, which doesn't come by default in Windows, but if you Google it, there is a version of DD that you can get for Windows. I think it's a Linux tool traditionally, but I just saved the one that he made to come up with a 2 GB image. That's the one that I use for my 2000 XL. So I use 1024 as the count here for the SU700, which gives you a 1024 megabyte drive image, which is perfect size for the SU700. So that's my SU. I've got a bunch of copies of them because I've copied them here and then copied them over to the SD card. But they say 1048 there, but they format as I think 1023.7 megabytes in the unit. So all you need to do with these in BlueSCSI, there is a naming format, and they do have a website which can take you through it, but you need to call it HD, I think it's HD, then the SCSI ID. So if you want to make the SCSI ID 2, you'd have a 2, 0, underscore, and then it's 512, which is the sector size. And then copy those over to your SD card that you're going to pop in the BlueSCSI, 7 of, all the way from 0 through to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Correction, sorry, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You don't want to use 70 because your 7 SCSI ID is the unit itself. And then from there, you can just format those images. Unfortunately, I've not been able to open these images within Windows or within any other tools. I've tried Total Commander, I've tried some other ISO tools, and none of them have been able to read them. So if anyone's able to work out how to read those image files, that'd be super useful to let us know. And also with a SCSI to SD, with some other samplers, you can access the first partition when you put that SD card into the computer. Unfortunately, with the SU700, it doesn't seem to be working. So if you want to be able to get files on there, I think the only way it's probably going to be with a GoTech and using probably Total Commander to come up with a 1.44 meg floppy image, and then drop some files on there and pop them onto a USB stick and load them up. But that's it. I'll go over to the unit now and show you what mine looks like on the inside. Alright, so this is the inside of my SU700. All I've done is run the SCSI cable from the SCSI card over to my BlueSCSI. It's got a 16 gig micro SD installed with those 7 image files, and it's just been stuck to the top of my floppy drive with double-sided tape. Alright, so powering on the unit, it'll take a little bit longer if you're using a SCSI to SD because it tries to detect the floppy drive as part of the boot sequence and can't, so it hangs for about 5 seconds. Without it, with the floppy installed, it boots the same time as it would normally. So as you can, what you'd want to do when you first get those images in here, you want to go to System SCSI. So you can see that I've set my SU700 to device 7,
and you just want to go through these 7. Yeah, mine does that. I'm not quite sure why. It just hangs every now and again. I'm assuming it's part of the fun of owning one of these old devices. So if I want to go for drive 0, and then go to disk, utility, format, SCSI quick format, and pick however many partitions you want. I'm using 8 at the moment. Hit go. If you're setting like mine, it'll hang for a little bit first. There we go. Are you sure? Yes. Executing. And done. So now if I go to the disk menu again and disk info, I can see I've got 8 SCSI partitions, and they're all about 127 megabytes. So if I get out of there, so if I want to save now, let's go to, where do I go? Still learning this bloody thing. There you go, disk, save. I'll try and save the volume. Now you can't export, because it'll only export to floppies. That's confirmed in the manual. No idea why they set it up that way, but you can only export to, you can't export to SCSI, which is a bit silly, but it is what it is. So you have to save the whole volume. You select which partition you want to save it to. And done. So now if I were to try and load that, it should be on that drive. There it is. So that's all. Yeah, any questions, feel free to chuck a comment in.